Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology update for February 12th through 19th, 2024. Wow, what an intense time we are in. Welcome. Happy New Year to Year of the Wood Dragon. It's interesting. The Year of the Dragon energy is exactly what we have been talking about in the energies of the astrology. Dragon is the most powerful sign in the Chinese zodiac, and it speaks to leadership, charisma, visionary leaders, passionate power, creative power. And this is everything we've been talking about. So, what we're feeling right now today is that Chiron and the North Node have come together in Aries. They will be together till the 25th. And this is tapping us into this creation energy. Aries is the most powerful sign of the zodiac as far as fight and fire, ruled by Mars. And uh, Aries is about new life, a new start. It's about life force. It's about the potential of life and life force. So here we are in this place of incredible access. And what we've been talking about is that human souls have direct access to this creation force, of course, because we are fractals of God consciousness. We know this. We have direct access to source. But it's been blocked, and we've only been operating on a very small portion of this energy, only able to access a little trickle of what is our birthright. So this is the energy of the time that we live. In order to continue in human evolution on Earth, we must stand up and take back our power and our world from those who would seek to destroy and control humanity. And it's a really intense energy, but also very empowering. So Chiron and the North Node together in Aries is bringing this fight, this fire, this and access to life force. But when you haven't had access to life force and then you do, uh, it could bring up anxiety or a fear. It could bring a feeling. It could bring an energy of detox. It might bring you a lot of energy. It might make you exhausted. you know, and so we're all clearing away what's keeping us from accessing our power and taking back our world. So this is exactly the energy of the year of the dragon, taking back our passion, our power. And it's interesting, we've been talking about Mother Dragon, Mother Earth, our goddess mother. She's talking to us. She's saying, I'm coming back home. I'm awakening. And this is exactly it. Mother's taking back her resources, her energy, the earth, the power, now only to be used in alignment with humanity and life and healing and love. This is the only way forward. We have Pluto now in Aquarius saying it is time for us to move into the Aquarian age. And yet we cannot allow the absconding, stealing, and degradation of life and life force from human souls any longer. So we stand at this precipice moment and standing up to take our world back. And this is exactly the energy we need to do it. Chiron in the North Node. Chiron is deep wounds over where our life force has been stolen from us. And it's that beaten down place where you're pushed to the limit and then your superhuman strength kicks in because underneath the wounds of Chiron lies a superpower. And so the Chiron superpower is unbridled life force, the dragon energy. And so we know that the dragon has also gotten a bad name and become fearful, and that there were these dragon lineages that took over the original Earth steward lineages and took the power for themselves. So this is exactly saying that we are returning the Earth and all of her resources back back to her and you, human souls, we the people, the true human souls who are the stewards, who have rightful dominion over earth with her, our mother, and we stand with her. And this incredible creative power is reaching up out of the earth to meet us, to work with us. And it's so intense because we've been getting these messages of how important our creative energy is to be like, find a project, get passionate. Your passion is your shield, it's your protection, it's everything. It's how you move forward, it's how you survive. It's like, wait a minute, I'm just barely hanging in here. How am I supposed to find my passion, you know? But this is the focus. This is like how we take back our energy is through our creation, our co-creating with source and with with the mother. So Chiron coming to the North Node has a very powerful destiny energy to it because the North Node is our way forward, the only way forward. And then it's saying we got to own our power. It's now or never. We're pushed to the limit. We have to stand up and take back our world now. And so the North Node is basically operating as an opportunity to take those wounds of Chiron, the victimization of the human, and turn that into righteous anger and empowerment. And so this is the turning point that we're at. So if you're probably feeling now along with this Chiron North Node fiery activation of creative power and the year of the dragon, which is all about creative power. The dragon is about raw energy power, like the fire. But the dragon in ancient mythology, in Chinese mythology, is associated with water. The leaders that would call themselves dragon leaders would call upon the dragon energy to bring rain, to calm storms, to control the weather. It's Mother Dragon. And aren't we done with the false weather manipulation and control? I mean, it's getting so obvious. Directed energy weapons, destruction. And it's like, can you imagine Mother Dragon waking up and being like, "The heck is going on in my house? Get out. Get out." And we talk to her about the weather. You know, I've seen lifetime after lifetime pictures of supernova souls working with the weather in this way, all for the good of humanity. That's the only way that these technologies should be used, which is, but to understand we do have this technology and ability within our very own body to create our dream and our ideal weather. Enough of this imprisoned planet, like trauma drama story. Just not buying it. So it's just so powerful and transformational. And so we're having a personal transformation. 2024, 2024 is 8, and that's the number of transformations. So that all fits too. It's all coming together. It's crazy, this astrology, how it all whew, just confirms everything we've been talking about. So right now what we're feeling is Mars at the end of Capricorn. And so we've got this fiery activation going on, like some stewing, you know, in the human soul being like I'm seeing clearly the way I've been manipulated and lied to. And Mars is at the end degrees of Capricorn today at 29 for the last next couple of days at 29 degrees Capricorn. And then moving, and already we're feeling the conjunction with Pluto. And so on the 14th, happy Valentine's Day, Pluto going over Mars going over Pluto. Now Mars and Pluto are intense because Mars and is they're both rulers of Scorpio. Mars is our raw power, our action, our will, and Pluto is our psychic power, but also the lies about our psychic power, the control about our psychic power, the fear of our psychic power, and the hidden technologies. This is everything um, that's on the table right now. So Mars at the end degrees Capricorn is bringing up this whole energy of this feeling under control, you know, this the false control matrix structures. It's just like this. It's like the light is coming in so huge, this activation's coming in so huge. We've got this beautiful sextile between Jupiter and Saturn, and it's like this creative force about to be unleashed, and then the control forces trying to like to cover it with duct tape over here and try to keep that activation from happening. And it's like, all with their false dark portals and false bad weather system. And it's like, no, there's no stopping this train. And it's time for us to get into the energy. The most important message coming through right now is that we have got to be in the energy of what we want to create. And when they feed us these trauma drama narratives, we have to say, no, I'm creating this. I'm on this timeline. This is my vibrational frequency. We're coming to find, and we can feel how weird it's been with time. Time doesn't really exist. So if time doesn't really exist, we've got to be in the energy of the now, of the truth of what we want to see. It's the only way we can take back our reality. So it's really, really important where we put our energy, but also there's this opposing force trying to bring our vibe down, like doing everything to try to bring our vibe down. But it's glorious to know that it's not working, and they're running out of options, and they're running out of power because Mother's taking it back. Mother Dragon awakening. Um, so we've got everything pointing to this, with especially, so we talked about this Mars going over Pluto, our personal planets taking that journey one by one over this initiatory moment with Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And Pluto is Pluto. So I was talking about Pluto and Mars being so powerful. They're both about power. And so when they come together, they're very powerful. And we know Pluto's the destroyer. But Pluto's standing like a gatekeeper right now, like to the Aquarian age. And it's like, oh, major adjustments need to happen on all levels of our being. And this is the initiation. And this is like a parade of our personal planets. So we already had the sun, Mercury, the sun and Mercury. And now we've still got Mars and Venus. And so Venus will cross over on the 17th, but we're already feeling this. And Venus is catching up to Mars just as they're going over Pluto. It's so wild. And so their conjunction is from the 21st to the 23rd at 5, 6, and 7 degrees of Aquarius. Very sweet. Mercury, Mars, and Venus are masculine and feminine coming together. I know it feels like everything's just been so dark and scary as we're trying to come out of this last dark period of time. And it's hard to imagine that love could be around the corner. And, but be open to this, because Saturn sextile Jupiter is saying it's just beyond the veil. The magic, the miracles. Once we access creative energy again, creation energy, that's what we do. We create. We've been trapped in this trap saying, well, you can create your own reality. You just have to change your thoughts, and you just have to do this and da 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 da. But we're under total mind control, you know? So it's just like a joke. And so we're breaking free of this right now. And then we immediately need to move into the to our possibility, to our potential of creators of our own reality. So we need to be in the energy as much as possible, but stop beating yourself up for not being able to create, because it's been near impossible. I mean, it's anti-creation, right? It's like you go try to create something beautiful and they're like, let's ugly it up. So we are moving into a completely new phase, but the more we can tend to ourselves and bring ourselves, our vibration, our frequency, our thoughts, our words, our energy back to that love, because this is the key. We know it is. And again, the stars, the universe is telling us exactly. Every planet's going over 0 degrees, Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, saying this is an initiation, and then Venus and Mars come together immediately after. And so the initiation is back into love, and we've been blocked at every turn. And so we've been made to feel unworthy. And this is what we're healing because right after Venus and Mars come together, they come into a square with Jupiter and in Taurus. And Jupiter in Taurus, now direct, is about expanding us into our true wealth. And it's really about like, look, we got to heal the shame. Why don't you deserve it? What if the love's right there? But we've been so traumatized and programmed into shame and low self-worth that we can't, that's our Stockholm syndrome, is this programmed shame and low self-worth. We got to stand up and claim our abundance, what's rightfully ours. Take back what's been stolen. It was ours all along. And so the Venus square Jupiters will happen, Venus and Mars square Jupiter on the 25th and the 27th. And that is right after and in the energy of the Virgo full moon. So the Virgo full moon is Saturday, February 24th. And it's powerful because it happens at 5 degrees Virgo, exactly opposite of Saturn in Pisces. Well, Saturn is moving along. Saturn is now at 7 degrees. So Saturn will actually be at 8 or 9 degrees, I think 9 degrees. So, but oh yeah, Saturn will be at 9 degrees, but it's close enough that the moon will be triggering this and the sun just before will have this exact opposition. And guess what? Mercury will be there. Mercury's finally catching back up to the sun after his retrograde. This is an epic moment. It happens on the 28th. So we got the sun and Mercury and Saturn all together in Pisces, opposite a full moon in Virgo. Now Virgo is the virgin, the rebirth. It's about healing and purification. So Saturn, we've talked about representing our timeline, and in Pisces, an opportunity to completely rewrite time and reality because it's the primordial soup of what's all that's available. So the sun and Mercury and Saturn all across from this full moon is a very powerful reflection and confirming all the messages we've been getting that it's feminine is going to lead us home. She's going to save our ass. She's the only way we come back to receive the light of the Christ consciousness. We have to come home to mother first. We have to come home to connection. We have to come home to love and feeling worthy. This is what mothering is. And your mother teaches you how to receive. And we've been disconnected from our mother, our great mother, our big mother, the great mother, which is manifest as a beautiful goddess, earth that we get to walk upon. So this Virgo full moon is so powerful. And it's like exactly confirming a rebirth of Mother Dragon reborn, and all of us reborn back into our creative power. And that's the rewriting of the timeline, is healing and embracing and learning from and coming back to the feminine. And I know that it sounds like feminist, but feminism was a concept created by the CIA. Just more divide and conquer tactics, you know? This is about love. This is about falling back in love with a source of where our nutrition comes from, celebrating the source of life, the creation energy. And we all need to come back to her love, and we've all been in male and female bodies. But the feminine principle and the healing of the feminine and our whole world and our history and the story, some atonement and understanding is incredibly crucial because the feminine, when cared for and loved, is a fountain of incredible power. This is the dragon energy. This is the waters. So the dragon represents the primary waters of earth, which I think is the mother consciousness as well. They're deep under the ground. All the water really is the mother. But these primary waters carry the ancient codes of what the earth wanted to become and all that's ever happened on the earth, the Gaia codes. And so these primary waters are deep in the earth. They don't want us to know about these waters. And they're under pressure. They're structured to such a degree, complex waters, ancient waters, that they're basically untaintable. And when you take primary water and you add it to a polluted water source, it will purify through coherence. Do you see how close we are to healing everything? But we cannot tolerate this lower matrix business anymore. You know, no more harm, she says. And so we've got a lot to figure out and clean up. And that's exactly the energy of no, this is important with Mars and Venus coming together for those days we talked about from they're together from the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And also on those same days from the 20th to the 23rd, Juno, the asteroid goddess of commitment and betrayal, is retrograding back to Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. And it's so powerful that these two come together at the same time because we also have the full moon in Virgo. And so the um it's an incredibly powerful activation. Juno this Juno Black Moon Lilith conjunction at the time of the Venus Mars conjunction is telling us exactly why our masculine and feminine have not been able to heal and come back together. Both of them feel completely betrayed by the other. And I wanted to share a narrative that's been coming forward that I've been seeing play out um, when they're trying to control people, forces, and operatives. And um, if there's a liaison, a working partnership, or a marriage partnership, or anything, they're one of their first things they'll do is to create a situation of distrust between those elements because they want to take away your support. They want you to think you're being betrayed. What if that was the original? That's the betrayal that we're dealing with. What if the feminine and the masculine are fighting equally hard to come back to who they are and each other? But we've undergone this story that we've been betrayed, by the opposite sex. And I know the feminine feels that like so much because the feminine was betrayed throughout history, but we've all been in male and female bodies. So we've all been in the betrayer. And so this is such an important energy to understand around healing the masculine and the feminine and Venus and Mars coming back together. Remember that it was Venus was going on her retrograde and came within 4 degrees of Mars in July and then turned retrograde. So it's been this whole time, this story's been playing out. Pluto square the nodes, Venus retrograde in Leo was very dramatic with Black Moon Lilith. So Black Moon Lilith is the deepest, darkest secrets of the feminine. And in Virgo, it's about cleaning it up, healing the feminine, bringing her back to wholeness, resolving all of these stories, religious stories and the lack of the cutting out of the feminine and the distortions. That's all going to have to be resolved. And that's what's, this whole part of coming back to the love of the mother. So Juno retrograde and Black Moon Lilith meeting up in Virgo for the Virgo full moon, very powerful. And it's saying that it's really the betrayal of those that have been controlling us that's been keeping our masculine and feminine against each other. It was a trick. And so wherever that part of you is feeling betrayed, what if you started feeling that your counterpart is going through just what you're going through to fight their way back to you and fight their way back to love, you know? Because remember, we got this backdrop of Chiron the North Node, which is like the warrior activation, like, come on, dragon power on the battlefields, you know? Um, and Venus and Mars coming together in sweet, like visionary 8 degree, 6, 5, 6, 7 degrees, Aquarius, the vision of the future, Christ consciousness. And so it's very powerful that that's all happening at the same time and confirming that we are coming back to love and we're overcoming. We're recognizing the divide and conquer agenda was to keep us from recognizing the common enemy. And now it's just too, I know lots of people still don't see it, but it's getting harder and harder not to see the clown show of the control forces that are seeking to dominate and control humanity. But they're losing their grip. The astrology says, and all this power and energy, this is when we stand. So get this, we were talking about this message that's been coming through around our passion and how powerful it is that we can get excited about something, get into a project, work for something, find something to love, someone to love, just passion, kind of helping us access this life force. This is also very much confirmed because Eros, also a god, an asteroid. Eros represents passion and enthusiasm and the heart. And so Eros is coming up to Chiron in the North Node on the 17th. And so it's just an absolute confirmation that this Chiron North Node activation, the year of the dragon, and this incredible time that we're in coming back into our creative power, it is all about the passion. It is all about the heart. It's our heart that it's our heartbeat that creates our electromagnetic field, which is a component. um It's separate but connected to our aura and our ability to be able to protect ourselves. And no wonder they've gone after the heart, you know? Um, the power of the heart and how disconnected we are. The end stage of this pathology, I've lived it. It's complete disconnection. Artificially created, but trying to put a sever between us and our connection into anything outside 4D, right? It's like a quarantine, our own local body area network. And so many souls are feeling so fractured and alone, and they don't understand that it's a technological invasion in our own bodies. And it's it's interesting because the truth of the matter outside of that technological story is this light coming in, the love coming back, our creative forces. And so this creative force surge is going to be removing those technologies, those blocks, that lower matrix, right? It's the power of the human soul to overcome anything. The power of the human body. Have you seen the body rally when it needs to save the organism? It's Superman. And this is Chiron North Node. The only way forward is to come into your superpower. That's what I'm seeing with this North Node Chiron. Um, it's like, okay, so Chiron is a key. The shape of it is a key. The symbol for it. And the North Node, you could write as NN. And if you turned them and put them together, this North Node conjunct Chiron is about taking your wounds and making them into superpowers. Get yourself up. I know it's hard, like everything that we've gone through. And also care for yourself, right? We're coming back to the mother. Care for yourself, love yourself, like heal yourself. That's the only way we can move forward, right? But also, it's like we're coming to this place of this absolute and powerful claiming back of our organism. We're claiming back our body, and the mother is claiming back her body. And isn't it beautiful that all of her resources, everything she has to offer, is only available for we, the people, the true human souls who have dominion over the earth? Everything else must go. She's taking back all of her power, and we're taking back our power. They stole it from us, made us fear it, and charged it back to us at a trickle, at an increased rate, stealing from us in every way possible. And the thing that I don't get is like the only in every story that I've ever seen of people overcoming tyranny, there was the coming together, the standing up. There was like a an empowerment of the people. So we have to understand the ramifications of the quarantine that we were put under, technological quarantine. Those of us that have not complied, because if you complied, you were in the matrix. And those that didn't, we've been in our local area network. We're still under quarantine. They won't let us come together because the power of our energy field is that powerful when we come together. Our light is turning on. I know you can feel it. On the one hand, beaten down into pulp. On the other hand, rising like a phoenix from the ashes, you know? So, how do we stand up? There's got to be something that happens that allows the human population, not doesn't have to be everybody, right? But it's like enough of us to stand up and say no more and to come together. Now it's interesting because, yeah, so Eris and Chiron and the North Node on the 17th. And so this is a massive creative activation. And it's saying, yeah, your creative power isn't to be a warrior on the battlefield against the enemy. Actually, it's to be a creator, a co creator. And in order to be a co creator, you have to have connection to your creation energy. You have to have freedom to be able to vision and imagine the world something that you want to create. This is so powerful. See, this is the whole thing behind media and information and images and TV, even from the very beginning. Rudolf Steiner talks about this, to try to interrupt and interfere with our own ability to create pictures. This is why the intuitive work is so important. The meditations, the activations that we do together in the Supernova Soul Tribe, so important to activate your imagination, to be in that realm, to work with pictures that are not physically in front of your eyes. That's where technology can capture the human soul. And so, um, this creation principle, this is why in the Steiner based schools in early childhood, creativity is the most important thing. They say, well, they're not teaching them to read. And it's like, we need creative thinkers, you know, people who can think for themselves. That's creative play. Like, we got to get back into creative play. And this is exactly the energy. So it's so powerful because the 17th is the same day. So Eris crosses over, and it feels like Eris might be that kind of thing that puts the key in the lock and turns it. The Chiron North Node, shifting that deep wound to a superpower. And on that same day, Venus is going over having her turn with Pluto. So Venus Pluto conjunction, incredibly, incredibly powerful. So, um, like I said, Mars, we're already feeling it. It's going to be intense for this whole week. Mars, Pluto, and then Venus, Pluto. The intensity of it is also that they're at the end degrees of Capricorn, having that bloom of the control force energy. And then Pluto is so intense. Pluto's breaker downer. This is our initiation, breaking down everything false, all the lies that we've been going along with or telling ourselves, all the fake, all the precepts and concepts of who we've been trying to be for ourselves and everybody else. The Mars Pluto just feels like a massive another, decapitation of the ego. um, but at the same time, of this fire and this I am activation, an activation of the higher ego, the spiritual ego that can move us forward. The visionary leaders, the year of the dragon. The dragon is the like I said, the most auspicious sign to be born under, that everyone would like to have their children under this year. So awaken, sleeping dragons, the original stewards of Earth and the original dragon lineages, also awakening into their power, literally turning on their light bodies and doing the radical act of coming together and sharing their energy with true human souls. Um, it cracks the code and it breaks the matrix. And that's, this is kind of this tricky place that we're at right now, being like, well, yeah, you want to break the matrix, but how do you break the matrix from inside the matrix? That's what we're doing. So hang in there. It's so powerful. And you're so amazing for making it through all you've made it through. And this is the control force's last stand. So just keep breathing, keep loving. I know some are feeling so beaten down right now. And here I am being like, Saturn sextile Jupiter, it's all love and light and rainbows. And they want to do everything to block us from this. And that's what I try to remember. It's like, well, this is the created reality that's trying to be fed to me. And right outside there is the real reality. And I'm going to be in that energy, you know? And when you can find another person to share that with, this is the beautiful opening back to love. This is the breaking down the gates of the Stockholm syndrome. This is saying, oh my God, I've been in lack for so long. I've been disconnected for so long. I've been lonely for so long, you know? And I saw this post the other day and it was like, loneliness is a spiritual path. It's God keeping you, safe. And it's like, you know what? This is contrived bullshit. We're supposed to be together, singing and dancing and playing and celebrating and activating the earth and dreaming the dream and imagining the world we want to see and creating it in real time with our energy and our power through our actions and our creative pursuits. Don't give me this bull crap. No, I know it served us on some level, but it is important to understand that this is a contrived quarantine. And this is where advanced supernova souls, the more you're feeling targeted and like harassed right now, the more powerful you are. And they don't want you free. They don't want you creating because that's how powerful you are. You're a creator. And so we are at this incredible precipice moment. And we have to, so, okay, so going back to this question of this, like, how do you break out of the matrix from inside the matrix? And it's this key. Um, they want us, and the way we live our life, the most of us, our attitudes, our energies, our subconscious thought belief systems, how much time have we been bought into this energy that there's this external force that says whether we get what we want or that we need, and then how we've equated that to whether or not we're a good person doing what we are here to do for God. This programming is so deep and so intense and so profound, and it's so programmed deep within us. But it's all based on having an external authority. And now we know, and this came through again and again, the Edgar Casey readings, one of the most important things that came through his work There is no higher power than a human soul in a body. And so these forces of control, we've got hierarchical control way beyond 3D trying to control us, advanced souls stuck in 3D. And we've got to know and live and breathe that there is no rightful authority. There's no rightful claim on your energy, and there's no authority higher than you as a true human soul in a body. And so all these games around going along with the program or doing something that's like, we've really got to take the reins back on our consciousness. And then that comes up all this low self-worth. We're beating ourselves up because our life's not working. Everything we do, just all the doors are closed, all the money's stolen. It's like we have to understand we've been in a contrived prison. And this is why I guess it has to play out so strong for us to wake up to it. But we have to wake up to the fact that there is no authority over us. And there's nobody who says that we need to comply or stay in quarantine or stay in prison or stay in isolation. You are a precious, precious human soul, advanced human soul. It's gone through hell and back to be here right now. Is this how you deserve to be treated? Is this what you need? Is this a further learning experience for you? Or are you ready to stand up and take back your power, your life? It's yours. And we do it through our energy field. So I think that, like, I see it as authority contracts, and we literally do have, I mean, we'll do this, like, in the last activation, very powerful. Leo full moon activation, we got a very powerful authority contract with higher dimensional galactic contracts, I call them, because 'cause they're just not of Earth. We might have had them before we came, and it's all about saying, "No, you can't have your power." That's their role, that's their job. They say, "No, you can't have your power." And we've been like, "Oh, okay. I'll just stay in prison." And the prison has had to get worse and very much more obvious. But now we stand, we say, "No, it was ours all along. Give it back and give our world back and give our mother back." And this, you can't, it's just not allowed anymore. We're going back to her laws and her rules. And this is what's shaking down. And so I hope you can feel this empowerment and claim it and breathe in. When you breathe the breath of life and imagine you can breathe outside of the confines of your lower matrix trap that you may be in your body area network or your prison and your whatever, your isolation. It's like being abducted from Earth. And we can still breathe the Earth. We can still breathe her with us. We can still feel her energy through our breath. And in connecting with nature, reset in nature breath and being very deliberate in connecting with the species of the earth in nature, very powerful, very powerful. We're claiming back our earth. We're going home. We're coming home. Mother's bringing us home. We're going home to her. She's being freed. Mother Dragon was in chains. She was drugged. She was abducted. She was held underground. Sound familiar? No more. It's the end. You can feel it. There's I mean, as much as the energies still play out and have to argue, it's like, no, we're not doing it this way anymore. And we are the authority and the rightful stewards of this earth realm. And we will do it right in alignment with her and her values. Now, the law of the land, our God-given rights. So there's much to be resolved as we move forward. But can we step into it right now? I'm getting frustrated with so many influencers out there who have built an audience and they waste the capital of the energy of these people that have trusted them. to create more trauma drama narratives. Who are you paid by? Where are our true visionary leaders? They're not the ones that are out there. And to waste your capital in that way, when you could be bringing people together in vision, in presence, in energy, in love, we will not have our energy wasted anymore. We take it back right now. Your energy is the most important way you spend your that's how you vote, It's like what you give your attention. So, as much as you can, bring it back to the dream of what it is we're creating together, recreating. It's already created, it's in our hearts. It's the original dream and the vision of what Mother Earth wants to become in her ascension, and we get to go with her. Be in the dream of that. Be in the energy of all the solutions and the miracles just beyond the veil. That this is a contrived trap, and now we break free. And you're free when you're in that vision. So maybe we've solved how to break the matrix from inside the matrix. Anyway, supernova souls, there's incredible power growing. And so hold on to your hats. This is a really interesting time because we're still feeling the sextile. So Jupiter sextile Saturn, miracles and blessings. It's right outside the veil of the fake matrix. They want us in the trauma drama, but all these beautiful energies coming in, excuse me, available for us just outside the fake movie they've created. Chiron North Node, the keys going in the lock, the passion, the creative energy, the rebirth of the dragon, you know, um, taking the wounds and turning them into superpowers. I mean, and then that means we've got some freaking power, right? Oh my goodness. And Venus and Mars coming together. We do it by coming back to love, by healing the wounds of betrayal, that we were betrayed not by each other, but by the false hierarchical hybrid controller beings from fourth and fifth dimension. That's who we were betrayed by. All our leaders who said they were helping us stole all our money and just laundered it back into their own pockets with war. Great betrayal. And so we face this great betrayal and we stand up and we take our power back. You know how it is when you don't know you've been lied to, but something isn't right? And it sucks to know the truth, to face that you've been betrayed. And I know supernova souls have lived this like again and again, because we have our narcissist empath dynamics taking our power back. That's what their role they're playing for us, but it just sucks. And you've kept your heart and your love. You're so amazing. But to just be betrayed on that level, we know what that's like. Somebody lying to you and misrepresenting themselves. And so when you at first you feel something's not right, and then you feel better to know to validate your intuition is validated, but then you have to face the betrayal. And then you say, never again. We've got to see the betrayal. So this is what I think the way things need, are the energy, the astrology says we have a disclosure coming where we have to face this betrayal so that we can get on with the healing, you know? And, but we have all been greatly betrayed by our leaders, even those we trusted. And now we know to look for substance. If someone wants to show us, to lead us, what do you have as substance? Are you aligned with the mother? Are you working with natural law of the land, our basic human rights for all of us, guaranteed by God, consciousness, by existence? Are you preaching love? Are you in the vibration of love and care and healing, right? This is the only thing we can accept. And that pretty much eliminates all the politicians. I mean, we'll see, but it's like we're finding out nobody's who they're saying they are. And we need to know the truth. Rip the Band-Aid off. Come on, you know? Enough of these games. And that is pretty much peaking out on the 17th with that energy of Venus and Pluto and Eris and Chiron in the North Node. Um, Incredibly powerful energy and leading us through the Juno, Moon, Lilith, Venus, Mars conjunction, Virgo full moon happening all in there with the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn together opposite the Virgo full moon, rebirth of the timeline. It's a rebirth of us, our identity, and a rebirth of the timeline, a rebirth of Christ consciousness. The magic is ours. It must be returned. It's growing. Can't stop it. And enough of the harmful influences and the liars being in charge. So, welcome to your new world. Keep breathing, keep loving. You and your heart is the most powerful medicine, and being in the energy of what we want to create cracks the code, breaks the matrix. And I can't wait to come together and celebrate with you really soon as we start our tour, our ascension tour of light across the world, showing people a different way to be and new possibilities in their realities. We step forward as co creators now, and we stand up and we take our place. No more time to be scared of who we are. So, thank you, Supernova Souls. I love you so much. Thanks for sticking with me and for being here and for continuing to love. I'm so glad that there's actually good people out there and that we're going to salvage through this with flying colors. And we're the last ones standing. So just keep your heart, keep loving, appreciating yourself for your heart being open. And maybe it can open back up a little bit more with this Venus Mars. Maybe we could find the love and the support and the community that can help us co-create this new world. It's the only way. So, um, we're continuing to have this experience of prying open like a crowbar, the heart that's been closed. And that's really the energy that comes up on the 25th and the 27th with Venus square Jupiter. Like a birth of love, right? It's almost like we've got this Saturn sextile Jupiter. What possibilities? There's something else. It could be different. And then Venus and Mars, what? I could open to love. I deserve it, you know? And then the squares with Jupiter being like, oh, well, what's in the way? You know, what did it bring up? What did this burst of love possibility, even entertaining the idea of like having some semblance of true human support and love, you know? It might be just the mind-blowing thing, but anyway, it's right around the corner and nothing can stop it. So thanks for hanging in there, Supernova Souls. You rock and you're amazing and you make my world. So I look forward to seeing you soon on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.